basically, in Japanese folklore, it's their version of a ghost, more or less. You know, they believe the spirit sticks around if it has unfinished business. You know, kind of like, you know, our version of ghost too, the YUREI, but they look like these like kind of like skinny woman in like long black hair, kind of like the Grudge ghost. That's what, you know, what they believe there, the YUREI. But I wanted to learn more about them. I don't know much about them, so I found a website here, as you can see. I'm gonna read some for you guys. So we're gonna talk about these ghosts. Hopefully nothing happens creepy in my apartment here, which I don't think there will be, but you never know. So we'll see here. I'm just kind of chilling, and we're gonna get going. I got a little candle lit, got some lights on, and you know, horror night, guys. Here we go. Thanks for joining me again. Episode 11. Is this? Yeah, I think it's episode 11, right? Which is incredible. That I know. Thank you to everybody who watched my Mr. Fritz video too, by the way. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. That got over 100 views already, and I was like, I didn't even know people would be interested in that at all. So here we go. Alright, let me get the site up so I can read it. You guys can kind of see what I'm looking at here. The YUREI, translation, a faint ghost or spirit, faint spirit or ghost, sorry. Alternate names consist of the Obake, the Shiro, the Burei. Other names exist for specific variations. Habitat, any, commonly found in graveyards, houses, or near the place of death. Diet, none, so it doesn't diet on anything, but I mean, graveyards, houses, place of death, yeah, that seems about right. This is yokai.com/YUREI. If you want to know this website that I'm on, I'll link it in the description too for sources. Appearance. There are many different types of YUREI. In most cases, how they appear depends on the circumstances on their death. They retain the features of the clothing they wore when they died or were buried, which means they are dressed in white burial kimonos or the uniforms of fallen warriors. That's why they're dressed in white a lot of the time. Occasionally they have bloody wounds indicative of the way they died. Their hair is usually long and often obstructing their face, adding to their disturbing appearance. Their hands hang limply from their wrists. YUREI are translucent and only faintly visible. In most cases, they are so faint that they appear to have no feet. So we're talking like the Grudge ghost. Like if I were to look in my freaking like closet right now, and YUREI was like up there with its hair dangling down, I would. You guys would hear me scream. I would just book it out of my apartment. I probably would never come back here, even with COVID-19 going on. I'd be like, nope, I don't want to go back inside. I've never seen a ghost. I've had some little experiences with noises and stuff that I think could have been a ghost, but nothing to me that's concrete evidence that, you know, I have a ghost experience of any kind. YUREI would really creep me out just because of the long hair and the weight. And the Grudge ghost, yeah, I mean, nowadays you watch it, it's probably not as creepy, but if that something like that happened to you in real life, you'd be creeped out. There's also the Ring ghost, kind of looks like that one too, from the Ring. Let's continue reading here. Now, interactions, let me see, okay. YUREI are capable of invoking powerful curses. They do not roam about, but haunt one particular place or person. In the case of a place, it's often where they died or are buried. In the case of a person, it's often their killer or sometimes their loved ones. They remain stuck in this world until they can be put to rest. This might require bringing their killers to justice, finding their lost body, or something as simple as passing on a message to a loved one. Some YUREI are reluctant to accept their own deaths and haunt their living family, bringing misfortune and unhappiness for the rest of their family members' lives. Oh boy. Like, people really believe this stuff. They really believe this. Like, I mean, it's not like this is just, you know, just some tale on the internet, you know, like people in Japanese folklore and Japanese culture, they believe this. And it's like, you know, I believe in ghosts too. I do, I definitely do. I just don't have like proper experience with one. Each haunting is unique as the person it originated from. purpose for existing is fulfilled, or it is exercised by a priest, can a YUREI finally rest. But the possibility that salvation exists and a glimmer of hope for those who are affected by haunting. Alright, so let's talk about the origin of these YUREI ghosts. According to traditional Japanese beliefs, when a person dies, his soul lives on as a separate entity, passing on to a heavenly afterlife. This transition is accomplished through a number of funeral and post-funeral rites and prayers performed by their loved ones over many years. Though these rites, the soul is reunited with its ancestor and becomes a family guardian spirit. These ancestors are enshrined in the house and continue to be honored as members of the family, particularly during the summer holiday or of Obon, when they are said to return to the material world to be with their families. Those who do not receive the proper funeral rites cannot pass on. They remain stuck in a purgatory that is part physical world and part ethereal. Others who die suddenly, tragically, or violently, or with grudge and malice in their hearts, are sometimes unable to pass on, even with the proper prayers and rites. These lost souls transform into YUREI. So there they are. Now there's all the other ghosts related to the YUREI. You got the Shiro, the Kosodate YUREI, the Kubijakari, Kubijakajiri. The Kubikajiri, is that the one that haunts in like the suicide forest in Japan? So this site has all sorts of stuff on the YUREI of Japan. That's interesting, that they usually only end up that way if they don't get the proper burials and rites. So like I said, if somebody like gets murdered and then their body's dumped somewhere like in a lake or something, most likely to come back as a YUREI until maybe their killer's brought to justice, or like their body's been found by their family members or whatever. They need that closure, just like people living would need. It's kind of creepy, but the fact that they can give you curses and everything like that. Like, I don't live anywhere near Japan, so I want to go to Japan, to be honest. I would love to go to Japan. So no YUREI here. I don't think so. Let's see, maybe we should click on some of these other ones and see. It's kind of like a picture of one there. See if we can bring that up more. You guys can see that. Traditionally what they would look like. I mean, it's a beautiful ghost. It's not like creepy. I mean, it's disturbing, but it's like a monster, It's like a girl in a gown, long black hair. I mean, there could be creepier things coming after you, right? My lighting is always difficult in these episodes because I don't have proper lighting for this kind of stuff. I don't like to turn my lights all the way on. I like to have kind of like ambient lights, so sometimes it can be pretty dark. I do apologize, but this is more like a story time and a hangout than looking at my face and stuff. I'm showing you guys what I'm looking at here too. Let's see. I'm gonna click on the Kubikajiri. It's a tough one. Oh, that's a really creepy one. Okay, never mind. It's a head biter. Diet, severed heads. Look at this thing. Look at this picture, if you guys can see this up on there. It's a freaking, it doesn't have like a body, like a lower torso I should say. It just has its upper torso, arms, old man scraggly hair, and like a streak at the bottom. Let me just see if there's anything. There's all sorts of different Japanese culture ghosts here. Kubikajiri are ghosts who feed upon the heads of the dead. They have long, disheveled hair, discolored skin, and sunken eyes. They wear white burial robes, and like most Japanese ghosts, have no legs. Okay, that's creepy. I don't want to deal with that. Is there anything else on the YUREI that maybe I can look up? Let me go into my Google thing and just see what else I can find. find here for you guys that might be interesting. feet. The hands of a YUREI are also said to dangle lifelessly, from the wrists, which are held outstretched with the elbows near the body. They typically lack legs and feet, floating in the air. These features originated in Edo period ukiyo prints, I don't know how to say that, and were quickly copied over to kabuki. In kabuki, this lack of legs and feet is often represented by using a very long kimono or even hoisting the actor into the air by a series of ropes and pulleys. So, if they ever use one in a play, they would cover their feet to make it look like they have no legs with like a long kimono, I suppose. YUREI are frequently depicted as being accompanied by a pair of floating flames, or will-o'-the-wisps. In eerie colors such as blue, green, or purple, these ghostly flames are separate parts of the ghost rather than the independent spirits. Okay. There's different classifications of them as well. So, famous hauntings. Here's what we want to know about the YUREI, guys. Some famous hauntings that actually took place. Some famous locations that are said to be haunted by YUREI are the well of Himeji Castle, haunted by the ghost of Okiku, and Okihara, the forest at the bottom of Mount Fuji, which is a popular location for suicide. A particularly powerful onryo, known as Uya, is said to be able to bring vengeance on any actress portraying her part in a theater or film adaptation. So you can see Okihara probably littered with them. Okihara Forest kind of freaks me out. I could do a whole episode on just that. I've watched a lot of videos on it. It's very interesting. It's a sad place. I would never want to go there at nighttime because there's probably YUREI all around the place. Ugh. I'd be interested to hear if anybody's actually been to the Okihara Forest. If you have been there, please let me know in the comments and let me know your experience with it. I'd be very interested to hearing about it. You can even use that in a future video. That's very interesting. So, listen, my own personal experiences with ghosts. I had one once. Like, I can't say that this was a ghost for sure, but it was weird. It was late at night. I was down in my kitchen in the old house I used to live in, and I was just making food or getting a drink or something. I was just in the kitchen getting something to eat, and it's kind of connected to the foyer and then like a living room. And in the living room there were some boxes just sitting there, boxes that were, just had a bunch of stuff in them. They were just sitting there. They weren't like opened or anything. I think some of the flaps were open for some of them, but they were just there. Obviously there was nobody awake. Nobody else was there. I think it was just my brother was home. That's it. He was downstairs. I just started hearing these noises. I heard like this ruffling sound, like almost as if somebody was going through those boxes in the room. And I thought to myself, I froze. I was like, why is there that noise coming from the other room? It's black, dark in there. There's nobody in there. Nothing in there would make that noise unless it was being touched by human hands. So I thought maybe it's a mouse, but the only box that was open was the one on the very top of the stack. So obviously the mouse isn't up there. I didn't see anything around, and I just thought that I felt like chills around my neck too. I felt chills. I think that was just from me just like freaking out a bit more than anything, but it was an experience. I can't say for sure it was a ghost, but it was creepy for sure. So maybe something was rifling through the boxes. I don't know. It could have just been a mouse. There was no wind because all my windows and doors were closed, so that it couldn't have been something like that. It was just really odd, really odd. But let me know if you guys have had any ghost experiences as well. It doesn't have to be going to the Okihara Forest, just anything in general would be kind of cool. I may have talked about that on a past episode. I don't even remember, guys. Some of these I did like last year and even before that, so I don't know. But yeah, guys, I guess that's gonna do it for this horror night, talking about YUREI. Kind of interesting to learn more about them and how they are kind of originated and manifest themselves. We'll see what happens in the next next horror night, guys. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, 0.